Hi everyone and welcome. In today's lesson, we're going to connect two important ideas. First, how we listen to global voices and different perspectives, inspired by the TED Talk, Listening to Global Voices by Ethan Zuckerman. And second, how our self-concept and communication skills shape the way we interact with others. By the end of this video, you'll understand the key concepts from your textbook and you'll know how to complete the discussion assignment successfully. Part 1, Why Listening to Global Voices Matter. Part 1, Why Listening to Global Voices Matters. Let's start with the big idea. Listening to global voices means being open to perspectives outside of your own culture, experience, and worldview. Many people tend to focus only on familiar ideas or people similar to themselves. This creates a kind of bubble where we miss out on understanding others. In communication, this becomes a problem because we may misinterpret others. We may assume our own way is the normal way, and we may unintentionally create misunderstandings. So one key academic skill here is cultural awareness, the ability to recognize that people think, behave, and communicate differently based on their backgrounds. Part 2 is understanding yourself, understanding a self-concept. Now let's connect this to your textbook. The first major concept is self-concept. Self-concept is simply how you see yourself. If someone asked, "Who are you?" your answer reflects your self-concept. This includes things like your personality, your roles, like student or friend, your ability, and beliefs. But here's the most important part. The self-concept is not fixed. It changes depending on context and interactions. One key theory is the looking glass self. This means we form our identity based on how we think others see us. For example, if people treat you like a good listener, you may start to believe you are one. If others criticize you often, that can negatively affect how you see yourself. Another important idea is self-comparison theory. This means we evaluate ourselves by comparing ourselves with others. This can be helpful, but it can also be harmful. For instance, comparing yourself to realistic peers can motivate you. Comparing yourself to unrealistic standards can damage your confidence. So an important academic skill here is self-awareness, being mindful of how we see yourself and why. So an important academic skill here is self-awareness, being mindful of how you see yourself and why. This brings us to part 3, self-esteem and self-efficacy. Next, let's bring these two related ideas together. Self-esteem is how you evaluate yourself. It's your sense of worth, whether you see yourself positively or negatively. Self-efficacy is your belief in your ability to succeed at a specific task. For example, self-esteem, I feel good about who I am. Self-efficacy, I believe I can do well on this assignment. These two concepts are connected. If you believe you can succeed, you are more likely to try and succeed, which then improves your self-esteem. But the opposite is also true. Negative feedback can lower confidence and lead to a cycle of poor performance. So another key academic skill is self-confidence in learning, built through effort and feedback. Part 4, self-discrepancy, the gap between who you are and who you want to be. So let's talk about self-discrepancy theory. This theory explains the gap between your actual self, who you are right now, your ideal self, who you want to be, your ought self, so to speak, who you think you should be. When these don't match, it creates emotional reactions. For example, if your actual self doesn't match your ideal, you may feel frustrated. If it doesn't match others' expectations, you may feel embarrassed or pressured. If it doesn't match your own responsibilities, you may feel guilt. This matters for communication because these feelings influence how others talk to you, how you interpret situations, and how you respond to conflict. So this brings us to influences on communication. Your textbook explains this in a way that talks about self-perception and how it's shaped. Family and social influences are a big part of this. Feedback from parents, peers, teachers shape your confidence and identity. Culture also has a big impact. Some cultures emphasize individuality while others emphasize community. This affects how people communicate and see themselves. And then finally, media often shows unrealistic standards, which can lead to unhealthy comparisons. So a critical academic skill here is critical thinking, questioning what influences your beliefs and perceptions. So let's connect this to your assignment. You are asked to do 3 main things. Describe a misunderstanding. Think of a real situation where communication broke down due to culture, personality differences, or emotions. Be specific. What exactly happened? Explain how it was resolved. Did someone apologize? Did you clarify meaning? Did time or reflection help? Respond to others with strategies. In your replies, suggest ways to prevent misunderstandings, such as active listening, asking clarifying questions, being aware of cultural differences, and managing emotions. And just a few extra insights on this particular concept. I want to impart some tips here. Don't just tell a story, analyze it using concepts like self-concept, self-esteem, and cultural differences. Show self-awareness. What did you learn about yourself? Use course materials. Mention your textbook or the TED Talk. Be thoughtful in responses. Offer practical strategies. And also remember, your main post should be substantial. Each reply should also be substantial and include these particular aspects. That's all I have for you today. Have a great rest of the week.